Tuesday, the day of bewildering mediocrity. I woke up stiff, not injured, just compressed by the weight of a city that refuses to soften. The view from the window was impressive, but it felt like looking at a screensaver, beautiful, distant, irrelevant. Another cafe, another large coffee, another 12-ounce medium pretending to be 16. At this point, it wasn't a mistake, it was a philosophy. Between the counterfeit coffee and the late afternoon nachos disaster, I wandered the city again, street to street, looking for something that felt like food or comfort or even just intention. Every option felt wrong, every menu hollow, every doorway a dare. After almost an hour of circling the same blocks, I surrendered. At 10:45 a.m., I found myself in a food court eating McDonald's, a meal I could have had anywhere. A double quarter-pounder with cheese, 6 McNuggets with sweet and sour sauce, and a Coke sweating under fluorescent light. It wasn't disappointing, it wasn't satisfying, it was simply default. A perfect metaphor for Adelaide, a place where the path of least resistance becomes the only path at all. Lunch, if you can call 4 p.m. lunch, was the final insult. Hecho en Mexico, a place that should have been a safe bet. I asked for a sol with clamato, a small ritual I've carried across cities, states, and years, a drink that's half nostalgia, half identity. They didn't have it. Of course they didn't. Instead, I received a small portion, barely any cheese, soggy chips, the culinary equivalent of a shrug. Not bad enough to complain about, not good enough to enjoy, just Adelaide. The whole day existed in beige, not painful, not pleasant, just filler. A day that confirmed the city's greatest talent, failing gently. I looked out at the skyline again, same buildings, same stillness, but now it felt like a place I had already left. The distance was complete. I picked up the unopened DJI Pocket 4 and placed it back into my suitcase, still sealed, still waiting, still untainted by Adelaide. It wasn't meant to capture decay, it was meant to capture life. A thought struck me. What if the Germanic air hostess is on the return flight? In a film, it would be perfect, a loop closing, a cosmic wink. Virgil S. Harker would say, "If she's there again, it means the story knows exactly what it's doing." I wasn't sad, I wasn't relieved, I wasn't nostalgic, I was simply done. Perth, a city I don't even like, suddenly felt like sanctuary. Not because it's better, but because it's mine. The findings. The German Film Festival anchor dissolved. The projector died. The city was a paused simulation. Hahndorf, a Bavarian hallucination. Comic shops, cultural crime scenes. Record stores, algorithmic graveyards. The barber shop refused to cut hair in an empty room. The nachos, an edible shrug. The coffee sizes, a citywide delusion. The sol with clamato ritual, denied. And the only true moment of grace came at 30,000 feet from a Germanic air hostess. This wasn't a holiday. It wasn't a trip. It wasn't even a misadventure. It was exactly what the title promised. I boarded the plane half expecting a cosmic callback, a narrative echo, a sign that the universe still had a sense of structure. But the Germanic air hostess, the one moment of grace in the entire Adelaide ordeal, was nowhere to be found. Instead, the cabin crew were a flock of old crows, seasoned and indifferent, moving down the aisle with the weary precision of people who have seen too much and care too little. In a film, she would have been there. In a novel, she would have smiled knowingly. In a story with symmetry, the loop would have closed. But this wasn't a story. This was Adelaide. And Adelaide doesn't do closure.